It still lingers here today, Paul, as you know, about your tenure here with the Lakers and Jerry Buss showing you the door after you just a few games into a season after you got bounced by Moses Malone and a couple years after you won it all with Magic Johnson. What were the forces, do you think, behind your firing? Do you talk about this in your book?
Yeah, I talk about it, and I talk about the moment. There were some things that led up to the firing. We had played the night before in Salt Lake City and won a game right at the end on a missed shot by Utah Jazz. And I was not happy with the attention that Magic Johnson had given me and our team in that last moment. So I talked to him about it personally. And unfortunately, or for whatever, a reporter saw me in another room talking to Magic and asked Magic, and Magic said, "Well, I don't know if I can play here." So he was not happy with my disapproval. And the next day, I was fired by Jerry Buss. But in perspective, I think it was a little bit of after this, therefore because of this. I think the Magic event was part of 3 or 4 or 5 things that I think Mr. Buss was not happy with. So he finally said, "We're going to have to let you go."
So, and then obviously they turned to one of your assistants. What did you see in Pat Riley when you hired him, Paul?
Yeah, it's interesting. I got the job, kind of early in the season. I was by myself for a couple of weeks. It's kind of interesting. We played maybe 8 or 10 games without an assistant coach. Now in the NBA, they have a dozen assistant coaches.
Right.
And the fellow who I asked to kind of help me chart some things was Don Ford, who was on the team and didn't play much. So and after about 3 or 4 games, Ford said, I don't really like to do this. You're going to have to get somebody else. So then I brought in Pat Riley. I knew him. I had met him. He traveled with us. He was the color man for Chick Hearn. And I thought he would be, very helpful to me, and he was. So it was a timely pick on my part, and Pat certainly was true to form.
So, it's kind of amazing that, again, the Lakers, 40 years later, after your championship, just won another now with LeBron James, and the guy whose team, the opponent that they beat, has been put together by Pat Riley. It's amazing how life works sometimes, Paul, right?
Yeah, that cycle went full for Pat, from L.A. to the Knicks and then eventually to Miami. So he's doing all the good things as a president that he did with the Laker franchise. But what rings true is that if you're going to win, like we just saw the Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis, you must have 2 very exceptional players in the superstar category. And of course, I did with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. So you have to have that ingredient to then talk about, well, you won and how'd you do it? Well, you didn't do it without your 2 stars.
So I guess there were super teams well before super teams, in a way. It just wasn't done by free agency, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you recall, in 1980, Magic came in as a rookie, so
yep.
He kind of the Lakers were a good team, simmering. Kareem had been there, and he had performed well, but they just needed one more player to get you over the top, and that's exactly what Magic brought to the team. It's kind of interesting. Magic Johnson goes down as the great assist passing guard, who had eyes behind his back because he was so clever. When he played for our team in his first year, I would really categorize him as a power forward. He was getting to the rim. He was rebounding like a big man, and I think he was doing it to show his teammates that I want to work hard for you fellas, so accept me. And then as his career went on, then he took over.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.